You mentioned thyroid. So one of the things that quickly comes to my mind, and if you can correlate it with your patients or clients, they will typically have an issue of expression. They want to say 1,000 things,
Yes.
but they barely are able to speak a couple of sentences. So
Absolutely.
that's directly associated with your throat chakra.
Absolutely. I completely agree.
Yeah. So that's the chakra thing that I do. So every chakra, apart from the seven major chakras, there are around 250 odd minor chakras,
Wow.
which are located into different parts of the body.
Hello and welcome to Voice It with Karishma Shah. We're very excited to begin a new season, and we're going to be speaking to a lot of women, a lot of different entrepreneurs, a lot of different people to be able to understand the kind of work they do, the kind of support they provide to people. We're going to be talking to coaches, consultants, therapists, entrepreneurs, all the sustainable brands that we could get. We're getting all these people on board so that we can share a new perspective, share new thoughts, and we can also kind of, increase a network of people who have the same thought process, and they can kind of meet, they can talk. The community building is what we are looking at. So today is a very nice and very special episode. We're going to introduce a very new concept which a lot of people may or may not know about. We have the beautiful Priya George with us. She is an integrated coach and therapist. She is also a family constellation facilitator. We're going to talk about all these different modalities with her. Firstly, Priya, thank you for being a part of this and welcome to the show.
Thank you so much, Karishma, for inviting me here. I'm super excited to share about Family Constellation. A lot of people don't know about it.
Yeah.
Some people have heard it, and it's nice that you're bringing this onto a larger platform and to more audience. I'm
Thank
happy to be here.
Thank you. So Priya, to begin with, right? You and me have had a discussion about the kind of work that you do and the support that you provide to people. Please can you share with us your journey, how you started, and the whole concept behind the education and the kind of work that you do.
Well, just before I began all this work, I was like a fresh college pass out, and I would travel from Mumbai to Goa just with my handbag because I had clothes in both locations and destinations. And I was a complete backpacker and traveler at that point of time because I was working in Mumbai in a call center. And then life changed for me when my mother passed on in 2007. And that's when I got thinking, like, what changed? How could she suddenly pass on? And to receive help for myself, I reached out to different modalities, and some of them being as hypnotherapy and integrated, it was called as integrated clinical hypnotherapy at that point of time.
Yes.
And I did about 5 levels over there. I learned all sorts of modalities at different levels. So at the thought form, it was hypnotherapy. At the energy level, it was chakra cleansing, chakra clearing. At the emotional level, it was core transformation. At the physical level, I learned yoga and different kinds of physical, breathing techniques. So when I explored all of this, I came across Family Constellation too, which is yet another powerful and very, it is life-changing work, because in the last 10 to 12 years, whatever I have done, it has changed my life so beautifully. And I have come in agreement with my mother's passing on. And today, when I talk about her, I know that she's there somewhere.
Yeah.
And, her blessings and her gifts and everything that comes on.
Yeah.
So it's a very beautiful experience for me to use this modality.
Thank you for sharing. It's very nice of you to kind of give us an insight about your personal loss and the kind of journey that you went through. I believe, because I have also lost somebody in my life who has been very, very monumental in my life, and in my upbringing. And I think that when the passing away of someone so close to you happens, to be able to come to that level where we understand that they've not gone away anywhere, they're actually just within us. and to be able to honor that and to be able to then lead a life which is in respect to that honor that we are giving them is something which I have learned over a period of time. And you say, having said this and validated that, is beautiful. Thank you for that.
That's a beautiful word that you mentioned over there. Honored that and honored my life, and that's the very essence of family constellation as well.
Yes.
It's like the fact that there are so many generations that has come before us.
Yes.
And because they existed, it doesn't matter what happened with them and how it happened. We do carry that memory in us. And when we honor that, and then when we move ahead is where the change happens.
Yes, brilliant. Yes. So, Priya, can you tell us more about, what the whole concept of family constellation is? Because I'm sure that a lot of people who are listening, they heard this for the first time. They don't know the kind of, work that goes behind this. So, if you could kindly elaborate on what it is, how do you work through it, and how do you help people with this modality?
Thank you for that question. So, family constellation is, have you heard of this thing called as morphogenetic field?
Yes.
Yes. So it is like, to give you an example, I typically give this example to a lot of people. Like there are a pack of wolves, and one of the wolves from the pack is separated and taken all the way across the globe.
Yes.
To a different location altogether. The entire pack knows what's happening with that wolf that has separated from the pack. And if there's a death that happens in the pack, this wolf, along with the other wolves, howl together. Yes. So there is this all-knowing field that is all the time present among us.
Yes.
And animals and different creatures around us are very connected.
True.
Tsunami was one of those examples, where the animals moved way before than the human state.
Yes.
So it is this communication that is happening at a consistent level. On a regular day-to-day life, we see these birds, flocks of birds that, fly in a coordinated way. They're not talking to each other, but they move in circles and swarms. Yes. So there is this all-knowing field information that they all access.
Yes. Yes.
And that's the same field that we access in family constellation.
All right. And then
like at the start of the call, I did mention about how, I made peace with my mom passing on. So that's the field that we use. And what are the other characters that we need in the family constellation are something called as representation.
Yes.
So we have a group of people who will probably represent your mom, represent your dad, or represent the traumatic event or whatever that is.
Yes.
And sometimes there are secrets that we don't know and they still affect us.
Yes.
Even those can be represented in the field. And when that comes up, when something that is not seen is seen, there is freedom in that.
Yes, beautiful. Yes. I also believe that it's, please correct me if I'm wrong, it's also connected to this whole aspect where your genetics, your DNA, and the whole concept of an afterlife and a reincarnation, right? So when we talk about these aspects, a lot of people who dwell into these kinds of modalities, they always say that it's all connected. So would you also say that, something like a family constellation therapy is connected to these kinds of dimensions?
It is connected with the dimension in the here and now is what I would say. So the one that I practice is called a systemic family constellation.
Yes.
Because it follows a particular system.
Okay.
And it's a classical method is what I would say. It was originated by Bert Hellinger.
Okay.
And it was passed on to Colette Green and then Annie Kariappa, and then we learned from them. So we come as the fourth lineage in the line. Okay. So lineage being the knowledge, how the knowledge transfer happens, is a part of the systemic lens. So when we look at things from the systemic lens as to what has happened, the events, how it has affected us, then we know how to go back and give them a place because everything has a place. Yes. Everyone have a place.
Yes.
So if there is a family member who has passed on, unknowingly we all try to fill that gap. We forget that in physical reality, they're not there, but their place cannot be taken by anyone.
Yes.
So in the systemic work, we give them their place, acknowledge their presence, and align them.
Yes. Does it also bring in your clients, have you noticed that, does it also bring a lot of closure? Does it also bring this whole aspect of, a little relief from the pain that they have been feeling after the departation of that person in their life. And also the fact that, you know, a lot of people who I meet, they have a little reluctance or hesitation to speak about that event or that person after they have passed away. So have you noticed in your work that once you've done all these things, um, the client or the person is much more relaxed, is much more open, and is much more, you know, at peace with the whole aspect about the individual in their life passing away and their own life after it?
Yeah, there is. In fact, when a person or an individual in the family passes on, it doesn't have to be a close one necessarily.
Yeah.
It could be anyone.
Yes.
And everybody have a role to play. And if that role is not played by somebody, that share is carried on to the next person who's taking it on.
Yes.
And when we address that, one of the common things that I've always heard is, I'm feeling light, I'm feeling liberated. I feel now I can move on and move ahead.
Yes.
Interesting part, I think a lot of people over here in India will agree, is the partition time. The partition time, the British, when they have come in and they've changed our essence, changed our roots, they've changed a lot.
Yeah.
And that is where some of us struggle. Like, I don't feel I belong here. I can't connect to this. I am doing this, but it doesn't resonate with me.
Yes.
I've had a couple of constellations in which we took back people to the time of partition. And when we went, addressed that problem there, and when we came back, land by itself plays a very important role. It gives you that firm rooting.
Yes.
Once a land says, go and prosper wherever you are, they have actually succeeded in their work.
Yeah.
They've got promotions and they've had financial growth.
Okay. Wow.
Being the end result.
That's beautiful. That is beautiful. It's really nice to know that, it goes back to a time when there was so much unrest. And, you can actually, through this system, you can actually access different parts and different times in the whole, in our era, in our decades also, right?
Correct. And I get this question very often, like, I haven't seen that ancestor. We don't know anything about them. Then how does it resolve? It is through the representations where the all-knowing field comes into place and the information stored just as it is meant to be there.
Okay. Wow.
And when the person over there admits it, that this is what happened and this is what I'm feeling,
yes,
the entire set of representation eases up. They're like, yes, that's what we wanted to hear and that's what we wanted to know. Yes. And even as I speak this today, I still get goosebumps. It's like the power of the field.
Yes. No, I completely agree with, when you mentioned the whole, auric magnetic field, you mentioned these things where, it plays such a big part, not only in us, but in also the whole ancestry that we have, the DNA that we have. It plays a very big role because it's something that we pass on. Just like so many different therapies where they say that, in inner child healing, or when they speak about so many things with regards to your upbringing, your environment, your conditioning, all these things are a part of it. And the more people speak about it, the more there are therapies to be able to address these things and heal them. I think it can bring about a larger change in aspects where mental health is concerned, your overall well-being is concerned, and also wellness is concerned. So all right. So Priya, another question that I have is, when you do this work with people, right? And you mentioned the minor aspects of what is involved in it. Please tell us the journey for the client. What is it that the client or whoever comes to you receives at the end of the day? What are the feelings that they go through, and what is the end result that you have noticed has been transformational for your clients?
For me, every client has been transformational, honestly speaking, especially when I use my therapies like one-on-one sessions along with Family Constellation as a combo.
Yes.
Earlier, the results would probably take around 6 to 9 months. Now I'm getting results and people are getting better sooner and then moving on.
Okay.
So the combination works amazingly well. Like, there are times they say, I am trying to change this habit, behavior, and pattern, and I'm hitting the wall all the time. I just can't understand why I can't change it.
Yes.
So when we look into the family, and then the question that we ask is, who in your family had this behavior or habit? Most of them, they say my mother or father or somebody in the mother's line or the father's line.
Yes.
And when we address it, and for whatever reason that behavior that they're not able to change, when we acknowledge the concerned ancestor, automatically the backlog or the trauma that they're carrying from that ancestor, it goes back to where it belongs. And the client here has a freedom.
Yes.
Like one of them could not, make peace with money. Like no matter how much money would come, he would not be able to save it. And he would say, sometimes I get clients so close and I can't close them.
Yes.
I have no idea. So it actually took us 5 generations behind, where one of the grandparents had a lot of wealth and the wealth was lost due to cheating.
Okay.
And when we addressed that, and whoever's the person who cheated and whoever's the person, where the money went about, when we got everybody and aligned them there, acknowledged what happened there, over here, the person started closing deals and started becoming successful and then started moving ahead.
Wow, that is brilliant. Thank you for that example. I think it kind of makes it more simpler to understand now. I think we have so many blocks, and for each person, it's a different block, right? For some people, it could be a communication block. For someone, as you just mentioned, it could be the money block. For some people, it could be a mindset block. We all,
Some people carry physical aches and pains. I should mention that.
yes, yes, absolutely.
Like one of my clients came with a pain in her body, and then she's seen a physiotherapist. She's done the scans that she needs to, and then she's done everything possible. To an extent, she narrated an instance where she said, "Hey, I was walking to the airport, and Bangalore airport is quite massive."
Yes,
Right. So she's like, I had to walk, and that 1 kilometer I could not complete, and I just could not put another step. And I was like, hey, do you want to see through the systemic lens?
yes,
And what's happening? So when she said, yeah, we agreed, it so happened that when she was a child, one of the uncles and aunts who she was close to had lost their child. And that child had a problem which was, below the waist. The limbs could not move. And the child died, we don't know why and how. But however, when we acknowledge and gave that child a place in the family and acknowledge, oh, this is what happened with you, we see that.
yes,
After 2 months, when I called her back and I asked her, like, hey, what happened with that? You know what? I didn't even recognize, that I had that pain. It's kind of gone down so low. It was about 100 and it went down by 90, 95. And now she comfortably walks, she can exercise. And she's like, you know what? I've also lost weight.
I couldn't agree more. I see this on a daily basis. And, since you mentioned the aches and the pains and the joint aches and everything related to the body, I would like to mention that being a nutritionist, being a health coach and a life coach, I meet and I consult with clients, and they think there is one problem that they come with, where they will be like, oh, I have arthritis, or oh, I have a thyroid issue and I want to lose weight, or I want to kind of get this into balance. And when we kind of sit and talk about things and we do our own analysis, we find out that there are so many underlying issues. It's not just about their thyroid not working very well. It's that they have a lot of relationship issues, and it's kind of spiraling into their health. When people come in with arthritis, because it's also an autoimmune condition, when we sit down and we do these analysis, we find out that it's not just their joints that are aching, or they don't have just arthritis. They have a lot of other things which is actually stemming from their mental health, and they have behavioral patterns, or they have um, issues in their day-to-day routine or their life which they can't get a hold of, and that's the reason why the body is now showing them signs. So I couldn't agree more with what you just mentioned, and I think it's a beautiful example of how integrated the whole aspect of your body, mind, soul is, at least at this level now, because we're so
Yeah.
open to talking about it. We're so open to thinking about these systems, right? So
Yeah.
thank you for elaborating on that. And Priya, I want to ask you this one thing where I have, understood that you also work with different other therapies. You work with other integrated therapies like
Right.
the aura field, the chakras, as you mentioned. So can you
Hmm.
elaborate, or can you give us a little gist about what it is that you do in these therapies? Because it's very nice to know what other things you do as well.
Thank you for that question again. So You mentioned thyroid. So one of the things that quickly comes to my mind, and if you can correlate it with your patients
Yes.
or clients, they will typically have an issue of expression. They want to say 1,000 things,
Yes.
but they barely are able to speak a couple of sentences. So
Abs-
that's directly associated with your throat chakra.
Absolutely. I completely agree.
Yeah. So that's the chakra thing that I do. So every chakra, apart from the seven major chakras, there are around 250 odd minor chakras,
Wow.
which are located into different parts of the body.
Yes.
And one of the ways that you can do is we can use a dowser to check. And the other thing that I do is aura photography.
Okay. Fantastic.
So, yeah, so when we click pictures of people where the body aura is different from the aura outside the external aura can be manipulated.
Yes.
You want to project that you're feeling absolutely happy and, all excited about something, the aura can change
Yes.
just with an intent. I've done these experiments where I've asked people, why don't you just show me your um, feeling, how you feel happy, and when you project it, how does it feel? Immediately there's a change in the color.
Yeah.
But the thing that they cannot change very soon is the auric energy in the body.
Okay. All
So
right.
when we take the pictures of the body, the aura images are the same,
Okay.
and they don't change much. And that actually shows the amount of energy clock that they have in the body.
Wow.
So that's one of the ways that you can read the energy system in the body. Apart from that, when we douse, like arthritis is one of the things, especially on the knees, difficulty to change.
Yeah.
Over a period of time, the body becomes rigid
Yes.
because you've held on to certain belief systems and the ways of being, and
Yes.
you refuse to change. And it takes about good 5 to 6 years for any thought to manifest as a disease into the body.
Yes.
But if you are put into the environment continuously and under the pressure situation for a very long period of time, then it manifests more faster.
Absolutely. Yes.
So you will have a whole list of people,
Yes.
working in different fields, IT field or different field. They will have similar complaints
Yeah.
because the pressure and the hierarchy system that they follow is similar.
Yes. Beautiful. That was such a nice example. Thank you so much. I couldn't agree more with it because the more I dwell into, one-on-one consultations, the more I dwell into the whole, counseling, healing aspect, I have noticed the same issues that you mentioned, thyroid issues connected with communication problems, expression problems, um, you know, you very rightly mentioned that arthritis is connected to being rigid. As I mentioned earlier, the behavioral changes that people can't make so easily. So Priya, you mentioned that we're going to be doing this very nice guided special meditation towards the end of the session today. So I would like to now hand over I would like to hand it over to you, and we can then start doing the meditation now.
Yes. So I really wanted to give this meditation to everybody as a gift from the constellation work that I do.
Yes.
This is a very simple meditation which we can do on daily basis, or probably even before you do any work.
Fantastic.
So it takes about a minute to 30 seconds. So right now, just scan your body and see how you feel. You may want to keep your eyes open or closed, is your choice.
I'll keep them closed.
Yeah. So scan your body for a second and see how you're feeling, and take a note of the sensations. You don't have to tell me, but just become aware of how you're feeling at this point of time. And once you take a note of how your body is feeling right now, remember your parents, your father behind your right shoulder, and your mother behind your left shoulder. And imagine as if they have their hand on your back as a support. And you receive all the gifts and resources from them in the form of blessings. And as you see that, see a line beyond them. You see their parents in the same order. and their parents. And imagine around 8 to 10 lines behind you and see it took these many people for you to be here today. And see the power, see the support system, see the resources, where you come from, the lineage, the strength, the power, and gently turn around. See all of them. And in acknowledgement, just give a gentle bow and receive what you're meant to receive. And any kind of heaviness that you feel that does not belong to you, say, I give this to whoever it belongs to. And you will automatically see that it goes back to the respected concerned person. And they take it back with love. And as this happens, again bow down gently and say, I will live my life well. And as I live my life well, in that way, I will also honor your lives. Bless me as I move ahead with love. And whenever you feel that you've been blessed and you receive their support, turn around and look ahead with all the support and strength that you get from them. And whenever you're ready, slowly and gently open your eyes.
Wow, that was really nice. That was really, really nice. I'm somebody who um, I am extremely emotionally attached to my parents and my family. So even though I don't live with them anymore now, but um, I would probably think about them multiple times throughout the day, or I would speak to them at least once or twice in a day, right? But I believe that um, being aware about the effort, the amount of inputs that your family puts in their I mean, it's something as simple as our parents, our grandparents, their parents, they all put in so much to be able to make us what we are today. And I always say this, and I say this very proudly, that um, along with my parents is also my aunt, who was a very big part of my upbringing. So I actually grew up with three parents. So, and she's the one who I lost 4 years ago. So I feel like every single quality of mine, right? It could be the good, it could be the bad. It stems from these three people, right? Not only because it's in my genetics, but it's also something that we pick up over a period of years.
Right.
The strengths I have is because of them, and even the few flaws that are there, and which we are genuinely, as the days go by, we work on them, because I am somebody who believes that once you realize that there is something that's not working for you, you have to put in that kind of effort to be able to change it, to be able to create that little bit of a transformation so that it doesn't affect the next generation coming in. So I think this is beautiful, and I think with your meditation, I kind of could connect the dots back. And someone who I would encourage everybody listening to kind of go through with the meditation as well. because even though you don't speak to your parents every day, this is a beautiful way to kind of, keep them in your memory, keep them in your actions, and move on with your day every single day. I think it's really nice. Thank you for that.
Thank you so much. And I hope this really helps. And this is one of the simple things that I do before I take up anything new, or I think I really need a lot of strength. I really feel supported when I do this.
Yes, yes, I agree. I agree. Thank you. Thank you, Priya, for this beautiful meditation and today's session. We're more than thankful to you to be able to share all your beautiful insights, to have this easy, casual conversation with us about something which is so close to your heart. And I hope every single person who's listening can, somewhere down the line connect or resonate with some aspects of what we have spoken today. Um, so once again, I would like to thank you for being a part of the show, and I hope and wish you all the best.
Thank you so much, Karishma, and wish you to all the very best. I don't know what moved in you, but whatever that shifted in you, I can sense it, and I'm also kind of a little softened with that.
Thank you.
All right.